My name is Terry Atkins, and I'm with the Cypress Lakes Bonsai Club. A couple weeks ago, we went out to Heathcote Gardens in Fort Pierce, Florida, and there we saw the Jim Smith bonsai collection. Well, I didn't include every bit of film that I took there, and I want to show in this film those deleted scenes, plus I wanted to show the brochures that I got, tell you about an event coming up September 21st of 2024, and I also wanted to just give you a preview of a project that I'm working on with large yucca cuttings. I have 4 or 5 different yuccas around in my collection. They're growing in what I call the palm tree style. This is an example of what I call the palm tree style here with these 2 desert roses. They're just cuttings. Next to me here is these yucca cuttings, and some of them are even bigger than the ones that you see here. So I just wanted to preview that and get the rest of this information out there. I will be showing pictures of the brochures, both front and back, so that you might be able to read them more fully and know more about Heathcote Gardens. So with that, again, we appreciate the people at Heathcote Gardens for all of their help, especially the curator, Tom, and as he was leading us around. It was a nice experience, and I think each of you would enjoy going to Heathcote Gardens, so thank you very much. And we're going to go over here and look at this little carriage. Get up close to it so you can get the size of it and then see this area. So it's big enough for, I guess, at least 6 people to sit in it. I really like these big blue containers here. Well, we're getting to the gate of the bonsai pavilion. Just to give you an idea. Little work area here where they're actually working on some rather big, not even sure what they are, but they are huge. And water, even a potting station. And around they have this pavilion here, which I understand can withstand a Hurricane 2 hurricane, and this is the area where they move them inside, the ones they can, so that they can actually protect them. Now I'm approaching some of the smaller stuff, and I'm just going to scan around so you can see the vastness of this garden. The ones over to the left here now, I've taken individual photographs, so look for those, and I'm going to swing out and start taking more photographs. But there's 125 trees, or over 125 trees here, so hopefully I can get to them all. So I'd take a moment and show you this giant Portulacara. Here's the tag on it. And while we're on the way, we'll just swing by a few of these others here. Need a little bit of film. Here's one of the smaller willow leaves. And here's another willow leaf. Another willow leaf. Another willow leaf. Now, I noticed some of the trees on the outskirts of these large ones do not have signs. Some of them do. But the willow leaf fig is the most popular tree here, followed up by some of the other ficuses, including the Green Island ficus here. Let's swing around here and do some of this smaller stuff over here. We got a gumbo limbo here. Never even heard of it before, but look at that, magnificent. And here's the sign for you that can read it. Then we got a whole bunch of little stuff over here. Almost looks like cuttings, like they're having a class. I see some portulacara, more willow leaf, some junipers, even a what looks like a bogey. Here's another bogey, a big old long one. But here's the guys over here on the tour, and I've gone straight away from them. So let me just join them.
And I'm the guy whose house is surrounded by bamboo, and bamboo can't hold a candle. Some years ago, someone I knew in the bonsai community gave me a Netherlands about this tall, and they gave it to me because it was ugly, and they couldn't figure out what to do with it. No matter what they tried to do with it, it didn't quite work out. And so I put it on a bench in my backyard, and my wife got sick. She had cancer, and for about 2.5 years, pretty much all we did was deal with cancer. And I ignored most of my collection, and a lot of it died. That one didn't die.
Here's the tree that he was talking about. And here's another one here. These are the Chinese banyan or Indian laurel. Now here's a close-up of the one that he was talking about with the group. And here's the other. These are the brochures from Heathcote Gardens. They do have an event coming up in September this year. Now give me a moment and I'll turn these brochures. This is the whole layout of Heathcote Gardens down in Fort Pierce, Florida. And one of the special displays they have there is the James Smith Bonsai Gallery. As we're doing updates, I'm going to tell you about a project that I have. About 3 different yuccas. This one came to me really early, like in 2015. I put it in a different container back then, and it grew out of that container. I had to break the container off of it. This one came to me a little bit later. I'll back up so you can see the whole thing. Each of these will be going in new pots in the upcoming video on them. Here's the largest one that I have. That's its new pot right there. That actually came from Lowe's. It wasn't very expensive. I thought I'd take just a moment to show you these cuttings that I just got from my neighbor, putting them on the burn pile over there, getting ready to burn them, but they're yucca cuttings. As you can see, the one that I have is much thicker, and it started from a cutting somewhat like these. Well, here's the cuttings sliced up. And in this picture here, it shows me soaking them overnight. I'm actually going to leave some of them just in water. But the other ones, and this is me preparing the container, drilling 3/8" holes, or maybe it was 5/8" holes. And they're out of the water, drying out before I put them into the growing area, using mulch on the bottom layer, then play sand or all-purpose sand, adding the little bit of Dr. Earth, using root tone, nipping the edges of the bottoms with the knob cutters to get a better grip, and that shows the level of the sand. This shows how I applied the root tone. Notice the sections that I cut out of where they're going to be touching the sand. And here we are on the 20th of January 2024 with a project of rooting large sections of yucca plant from the big portion of their stems. One of the ones that you see here that has 3 prongs going down is actually planted upside down according to the way it was growing. The next stage is to put on the topsoil a couple inches, water it in, and before I water it in, I need to apply the wood glue to those top borders. Here we are with the project. I want you to notice that little one down there. It's only like 3 inches tall, and the glue is on. The second layer of topsoil has not been added yet. I'm actually going to check and see if I got some potting soil and maybe use that instead. Then all I had to do is water it in and put the lid on it and set it aside. But I want to let that glue dry a little bit so I don't get dirt all over the glue area. Here's the last stage. The soil has been added. They've been watered in twice now. Now I'm going to put the lid on it and a secondary piece of plastic, and then I'm going to slide it back into this cubby hole and try to protect it from the cold tonight, even though that shouldn't really affect it. Well, there it is, all snuggled in for the night. I opted to put the plastic over top of it because one of the pieces stuck up a little too high, and the lid went on, but it wasn't really airtight. So now just got to wait for warmer weather and keep checking for growth. Couple containers that the big one started in. Unbelievable size cutting. Just, and if we don't get struck by lightning, come Thursday we'll be doing an interview with Dave Clark of Bonsai and also Cypress Lakes Bonsai Club, and we'll get to meet his big huge St. Bernard BMO. And here we are at the end of the film again.